надо. Цветы красивые.
Lighter spot there. That's a lake. That's called Sebago Lake. That's in southern Maine. To give you a little perspective, that's about 45 miles from here. On a nice clear day, we can look beyond Sebago all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. 65 miles away. And we're continuing on, looking down south through the Pinkham Notch Valley, down towards North Conway. Two of the most famous geological features of Mount Washington are called Tuckerman Ravine and Huntington Ravine. And I can show you them on our left here now. The high rocky ridgeline we see in the distance is the very massive south wall of Tuckerman Ravine called Boot Spur. And then the gash in the mountain much closer to us, all over the water barrel here, is called Huntington Ravine, with the summit just above it. Now, Tuckerman Ravine is the most popular hiking route up the mountain, and it's also very well known for its skiing. Huntington Ravine, on the other hand, is perhaps better known for its rock and ice climbing challenges, and arguably the most difficult hiking trail on the entire mountain. I should say that's where the first oh my god curve is located. There are several of us. And if you guys don't believe me, ask this gentleman sitting up front here, he'll tell you. Got the scariest seat in the house. 5,000 feet above sea level, back on paved road now from here to the summit. Oh, by the way, I want to show you something. Mount Washington has a nickname. We call it the rock pile. Look to your left. Pretty good description, isn't it? This is Mount Clay in front of us now. So now we have the entire northern presidential range on our right here. Let me name it for you once again. Beginning back at the right, we have Mount Madison, followed by Mount Adams, Mount Jefferson, and then Mount Clay up here again. Named after Henry Clay, by the way. Isn't it almost time for you to start painting the leaves?
That's about a month off.
About a month off? Oh, okay. And if you look closely, you can see those markers going right up over the ridgeline up to the right.
What's up here for wildlife? What other birds?
There are some very small animals, several species of mice, shrew, moles, voles, that type of thing. Quite a few birds, including a couple of songbirds. Listen, we've been seeing some yellow flower up here as well. This yellow flower that you see up here is alpine goldenrod, actually. We're located in the White Mountain National Forest, created in 1911. The top of Mount Washington, however, is a state park located within the National Forest. It's called the Mount Washington State Park. In 1980, the state of New Hampshire built a nice building up here to complement the park. It's called the Sherman Adams Summit Building. Coming into view now. The building has a couple of gift shops. There's also a cafeteria. There's a post office in the building, a museum. An observation deck on top. And this building is also home of the Mount Washington Observatory, or the weather station, which you may have heard.
Древний, посмотри какой. Сейчас я поясню. А дым какой от него, ужас.
Я поспала. Эти все сами приехали, я так не могла.
А, кстати. А, выскочил это, рюкзак. Top on the mirror. Мы начали летать. А вон какое-то озеро сидит. Видишь, вон озеро? Вот уже туман поднялся, это за полчаса, что мы здесь.
To the Atlantic Ocean. The most distant point of land that we can see from the summit is to the west. On a really clear day, we can see the top of Mount Marcy over the Adirondacks in New York State, 131 miles. I took that tent down off of Mount Clay shortly after we arrived on the summit. Well, it's metamorphic, formed under extreme heat and pressure because of and those were probably caused in that way. There is some much larger folding, of course, that was caused by the uplift.